What is up, fam? Agent O here with another action figure review, and today I have the Riobot Jehuty figure from the Zone of the Enders games from the company Sen-ti-Nel. And I think, in my opinion, I think this is by far the best rendition of this design in, action figure form. I was almost sold on the Rebel Tech figures that had came out a while back, but then when I saw this, and since I had bought the detonator organ figure from Sen-ti-Nel, I knew I had to get this guy because I knew that figure is also quality. I'm going to do a review on that at some point, but I wanted to do a review on this one first because this figure is actually still available online. But yeah, Yoji Shinkawa, the guy who designed, all the mecha designs in the Z.O.E games, and also, obviously you know him from the Metal Gear games if you're a Metal Gear fan. He worked real closely with Sen-ti-Nel on the design of this toy, and I mean, it just shows. I mean, every inch of this figure is just covered in, quality. It's just, the sculpt, it's just almost I would say it's pretty much game accurate or model accurate to the to how Jehuty appears in the games. I have not played Zone of the Enders 2 yet. Always wanted to. I picked up the remastered or HD version not too long ago. So one of these days I'm gonna pop it in and play it. I'm just getting through some other stuff, other games and whatnot. Just been real busy with other things, so haven't been able to devote time to games like I would like to. But yeah, this figure has it all. It has tons of accessories. It's got a great sculpt, great articulation. Let me just go ahead and start this review. Start off with just all the just the look of this character. Starting off, you've got really great paint application on this figure. There's absolutely no bleed whatsoever anywhere on this guy, and you can tell they used a really good quality metallic finish or metallic paint on this figure. It just has that sheen and that metallic shine, and they've got they've got several different tones. Well, two different tones of blue. No, I'm sorry. Actually, it's like two different tones of blue. Everything that's it's an accurate color. It's accurate color, and it's always been a color scheme that I've always been fond of. I think this metallic blue on gold just works really well on this figure. Even the seams, like on his forearms and on his bicep and in the torso area, all those parts are parts, like if you've ever played the games, those parts are actually glowing with kind of like a LED glow, and they've got paint in there too, and you don't see it anywhere else other than where it's supposed to be, and that's friggin' fantastic. But of course that's to be expected with a figure from the Sen-ti-Nel action figure line, and just from Japanese figures in general. I haven't really come across any figures that I've collected that had crappy paint jobs, and this one's no different. They've even got, as far as like detail goes, they've even got like on his head, you can see like the writing. You can't really see it on my camera, but I've got pictures and whatnot that'll show more up close detail of all the little details. I mean, it's like they got everything in there that you would see on the figure in the game, and it's just really awesome. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into the articulation on this figure, and once again, the articulation on this guy is great. He obviously he's got good up and down head motion. He doesn't really have much of a rotation, but it's pretty good. You're not going to get a 360 degree rotation out of the figure, but I think it's good I think it serves its purpose. Anyway, one thing I wanted to point out about the articulation is they do this really cool thing that I don't see all that often on figures, but I really like when I do see it, is when you have when you move, like say you move the head, and you got the neck that kind of shifts into place to cover any gaps. You know, it's on like a slide. It's on like a slot or a slide. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, it just slides up and down. So and it just moves into place. I love when figures do that stuff. If I move the chest, if I move the arms and the chest, and I move them back and forth, you can see these pieces in the front of the chest piece move in and out. I love that. Whoops! Just popped one of the wings off. That's okay. Pops right back on. I love when they engineer stuff like that in these figures. You also have it on the legs. Like if I bend his leg, you see this piece on top of the lower leg shifts back. Also wanted to point out that these legs are double jointed. I mean, that's the one thing I love about Riobot, is everything on the figure is designed to allow for pretty much the most optimal range of motion that you're gonna like pretty much get. You'll see it when I review the detonator organ figure, because that figure has great range of motion on it also. One other thing I wanted to also point out is these little landing gears. They also shift in. You can, when you pop them in, that one stabilizing piece moves in and out and shifts up with the figure. So, you know, folds in and holds perfectly. You know, I'm really just digging all the little things that they've done with this guy. It's just I don't know, it's just really damn crafty engineering. Great use of ball joints, especially like wherever there's necessary for a ball joint, it's there. You know, here you've got a ball joint on a swivel arm for the little shield, the, you know, energy projecting shield. In the armor, on the shoulder pad armor, it's connected by a ball joint. And you get a lot of, oops, I just popped the hand off. You get a lot of clearance, and you know, you get a lot of rotation on it, so that, because it's actually on an arm that's connected to a ball joint. Man, I'm just popping everything off this guy. I don't mean to. It's just I guess I'm just too excited because this is such a good figure. But anyway, you can do all that. You know, you get all that clearance on this on the shoulder, so you can get poses where the arms are raised up high. You can get, you know, you can, like so, you can get I don't know, you can get pretty much any pose you can think of. I don't think you're gonna be able to get it to some degree, you know, to a very good degree on this figure. You know, the shoulders on a double swivels back and forth and up and down, and I mean that's pretty good. That's pretty good range of motion on this guy, especially when you've got the shoulder back and forth swivel. Basically any pose that you've ever seen this toy do, or this model do in the video game, you can pretty much get it with this figure. These little, I don't really know what these are, and I don't remember what they do in the game because it's been a long time since I played the game. But you know, these are on a double swivel, and actually they're on a ball joint and a swivel, but whatever. He also has some upper torso articulation, and doesn't really have much in the range of a hip swivel. Like, that's really about it. But you know, I think the upper torso swivel kind of makes up for that. So you use them both in conjunction, and you can get them to turn pretty much about that much. And I don't think that's too bad. I think that's pretty decent. You know, you're not getting a full 360, so if that pisses you off, well, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, he's got neck articulation, you know, at the base of the neck. connects to the upper torso. So I don't know. He's got good articulation. The sword is articulated. I mean, because you have to be able to put him in poses where he's welding the sword, and it's also detachable because he comes with a longer sword version, just like in the game. I think this was the standard length that you started off with in the game, and then as you upgrade, throughout the game, you can upgrade to a longer, more stronger blade. That sort of thing, and new weapons and stuff, which I'll get to in a little bit when I get to the accessories portion. But yeah, even the cockpit is articulated. Yeah, I know. Get all your cockpit jokes out of the way now. But yeah, it's even this is articulated because you can put Jehuty in the pose where it enters like interstellar flight mode, and in that pose, the cockpit does move into position along with the rest of Jehuty's body. Even this piece that looks like it shouldn't come out, it's a little difficult to get my fingernail in there, but this pops out when he's switched to flight mode. I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty. I'm having so much difficulty because I'm filming it right now. Usually it's not that difficult to get out. See if I can crane his neck to get it out of the way. But anyway, I've got pictures. There we go. Well, it comes out, and it's easier to put it back in than it is to get it out. But anyway, you'll see in some of the photos I took, that it has articulation. So like I said, very minute details that you could kind of get away with not doing on a lesser figure and it'd still be okay. It's all here with this guy. One other thing I wanted to point out is the stand. The stand is pretty damn good. It's pretty light, and the arm is perfect for this kind of figure because you're going to primarily want to use the stand on this guy just because he doesn't have any actual feet, due to the design of the way he appears in the game. And it pegs in the back, and actually there's a piece, I have it somewhere else, but there's a piece that covers up the peg hole just in case you're not using the stand and you have it posed like maybe in an Iron Man style 3-point ground pose or something, so you can cover up the peg hole when you're not using the stand. But the arm is pretty sturdy, and you do have a couple points. You do have a couple screws here and here that you can use to adjust the tightness. I didn't have to do any adjusting. Like, it was like this out the box. And as you can see, I can pose them. I can set them up, standing straight up, so I can do some aerial, poses. And it holds no problem. Has great balance. Doesn't tilt or anything. And there's also one other thing that's real special that I found pretty special about this stand that I'll point out a little bit later. I thought it was a really nice touch when I saw that I could use this, so I'll show it in a little bit. Like I said, the wings on the back are also articulated. They're not even on a ball joint. It's little circular peg, and they just peg right in. I kind of wish the peg was a little longer, so it would fit into so the wing could fit into it a little deeper, because it's real easy to just accidentally pop them off. Like, this one's actually kind of loose too, so it does pop off a lot easier than the right one does. And I wish the joints on the wings were a little tighter. Like, this one's pretty tight, but this one, it's not all that tight. And I saw a review on Amazon. Somebody wrote a review saying how theirs were like super loose. So maybe that's just a problem, a QC problem that they should have worked on. But yeah, I move it around and it just doesn't want to stay up. And it's too bad. I mean, it's a small thing, because once I get it posed, I can just leave it and and it'll stay. But any moving around, it's gonna droop. So that's the only downside. That's one of the few downsides I have with this figure. One other detail I did want to mention is great use of translucent plastic pieces. You have the translucent plastic on the shoulder pads and the visor and the head. Love when they use that. I kind of wish they could have used a little bit more, but I don't think there really would have been any other need. Maybe in the cockpit, but I've never seen gold translucent plastic, so I don't even know if they can do that. I don't imagine why they wouldn't be able to, but that kind of would have been cool to see that. But you know, that's me just trying to find things to nitpick with this figure, because honestly I think this is a really good figure. Let me just jump right into the accessories he comes with, because he comes with a lot of stuff. So there is one other thing I wanted to point out, and that is, before I get to the accessories, and that is be careful when you pose this guy, because I accidentally broke off a piece of this figure. This is not your pick up and play with type of action figure. This is more like you set the action figure up for display purposes mainly. You do not want to play around with this figure, because you will break stuff. It's a pretty fragile figure overall. I did accidentally drop him, but luckily it didn't fall far and it was on carpet. So I was lucky in that respect, because he fell on carpet and nothing broke. Thank goodness, you know. Thank the Matrix, nothing broke. But when I was posing him, I actually broke off a piece, this blue portion of the arm of the bicep. It's attached in two pieces and it pegs in. And I was lucky because it was a clean break, so I was just able to super glue it back on, and now I don't have to worry about it popping off. But like I said, just be careful posing this guy, because especially like here, like I'm always afraid, you know, posing this arm with this sword, I'm gonna accidentally break it off, and I'd really be sad if that happened. But yeah, now I'm just gonna jump right into the accessories that he comes with, because he comes with a lot of stuff. Okay, and I am back, and as you can see, he comes with multiple sets of hands. He comes with 5 different sets: closed fist, open fist, relaxed, and straight, straight like a judo chop hands. And he also comes with these this set right here. Those hands are actually for holding items, namely this namely this beam, because I think you could use melee weapons in the game other than your sword. I can't really remember, because I haven't played it in a really long time. But yeah, I love the sculpt of these hands, because the designs, it's just such an alien looking design for the hands. Kind of reminds me of the hands of the Neo Sapiens and Exo Squad a little bit, because they have the double thumb thing going on. Instead of they have a thumb, and instead of the pinky, that's like another thumb. And even though it might be hard to tell which hand is supposed to be the right hand and like which one's supposed to be the left hand, like if I pick up this hand, I can tell that this is the left hand, because it's a little fatter on the left side. So this is like a left hand, it's a left hand attachment or whatever. That little bit of attention, it's kind of subtle, but you can tell. And I love that little bit of attention to detail was put into just the sculpt of these hands. They're just really cool, and I think the paint helps bring out the detail that they put into the hands as well. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty geeked just about these hands, because they're not your typical mecha robot hands. Actually looks like Jehuty could be an alien, with armor on it or something, kind of like how the Evas were in Neon Genesis Evangelion. But moving on, like I said, he has this beam melee weapon, and this hand has the little attachment put on it so that it fits into these slots on top of the beam. So you can actually place the beam in their hand, and it's great because you can actually rotate the hand around and it fits in there pretty snugly. Yeah, it's just and there's, you know, since you have different slots all along the length of the beam, so you can place the hand in different parts for, you know, various poses, you know. So it's very convenient. Oops, and the little peg piece got stuck in there, but I can get that out. Well, I'll just leave it in there for now. I'm not gonna worry about it. I can get it out later. But yeah, this is what it looks like without the peg piece attachment. It's just a circular peg. When we have the sword, this is the extended sword, and you can see it's way, you know, it's way longer than the other one. And yeah, so you can play around, you can switch it up however you like. I just left the standard one on there because it was a little bit easier to pose with. These pieces, these clear plastic and gold pieces, these actually were in the wings for when Jehuty is in flight mode, but they're removable. And I'd be careful because even though they're kind of durable, and they're pretty, you know, they're pretty rigid, I'd still be careful because this piece, this is the only way you can attach it to the upper part of the wing, because the wing kind of scissors open and it attaches on the inside. So I would still be careful not to break this, because once it's broken, I mean, there's really not much you can do about it. And lastly, we have this O-ring, which technically it fits on the stand. Actually, there's a piece in the back of the stand that it fits on. I think I have pictures of it, but you know, technically it's kind of supposed to be invisible, but it's there for these pieces to fit on. And there's pieces that attach on the inside of this. I don't really know what this is because I think this showed up in Zone of the Enders 2, this weapon, and I haven't played that game yet, so I don't know what they do. I don't know if they're missiles, like floating missiles. I don't know if it's a floating beam, if they're each floating beam, you know, laser weapons or something. I have no clue, and I should have probably just looked it up on YouTube or something, but you know, I'll play it one of these days and then I'll know for myself. So yeah, I mean, they're there and they fit on this O-ring, and I thought it was kind of cool that you have this little enemy like AR display thing that would probably appear when, like, this would probably be the one thing you would see in the game, you know, just this floating around, floating next to these pieces. And you know, I guess I thought that was just a neat little detail to add to this O-ring. And the way it attaches, it allows these weapons to slide all around the ring, and you can adjust them back and forth, or you know, around an angle, because they're attached onto a ball joint. So really slick engineering and just crafting to make all this stuff work. I don't know, I got nothing really bad to say about this figure. It's just a really damn good, well-crafted figure. I even forgot to mention during the articulation portion that, you know, he has a bicep swivel. I just forgot all about it. But yeah, so you can see bicep swivel, and it's pretty good. You can get the hands behind the back like he's standing attention. I also forgot to mention that these little booster thrusters, they're on ball joints, so you can get some adjustment out of that and some play. And if you want, you can pop them off, because like I said, it's on the ball joint. But yeah, I mean, I really got nothing else to add to this review. It's just I really love this figure, and it's and I know I'm a. Oops, I forgot to mention one other thing. I'm gonna put Jehuty over here for a sec because I forgot the last accessory. I'm just gonna move all this crap out of the way. In the game, he can craft an even larger shield than the one that is attached to the arm, and I thought it was really cool that the shield is actually the floor piece of the base. You know, this is the base as it is, and here is here's the base from the detonator ore gun. It has this clear plastic on top, which makes the base look that much more nicer. But yeah, this is the base as is, and this if I detach this piece, it fits into the back. Fits into the back, and then I can just take one of these hands and attach it like so, and then now Jehuty has an even bigger shield with which to, you know, block all oncoming attacks. So I thought that was kind of cool that they worked this into the base, because it definitely gives it a different aesthetic, a slightly different aesthetic than just the clear plastic and the checkerboard pattern that's on the bottom, like in the detonator ore gun base. But you know, this gives it a little something else, and it gives you some nice little storage for this oversized shield. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy. I really just love this figure, and right now this figure is actually on sale on Hobby Search, and even at regular price it's still less than, say, Big Bad Toy Store. Like I showed you in a previous video, for whatever reason Big Bad Toy Store marked this figure up hella high. Don't know why. Don't know why that rhymed, but I wasn't trying to do that. But yeah, they marked it up. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a Japanese figure. I don't know. But you can, if you want to pick it up for cheaper, then I would head on to Hobby Search and pick up this figure, because I think if you're a fan of mecha, I think this would be a great addition to your collection. And or if you're just a fan of cool, you know, character designs, or if you're a fan of the game, I would definitely get this figure. Because yeah, I loved the games. I remember when the game first came out, and I was like, wow, this is like I'm in an anime. The way they're clashing, you know, the way the mecha were clashing with each other, and you know, it felt like, you know, you were playing in an anime at that time. So yeah, I would definitely add this to your collection if you're a fan. You can't get it. I mean, you're getting a quality figure. It's a little pricey. It was definitely a little pricey for my taste. I had used my Hobby Search points to reduce the price back when this figure first came out. So if you use Hobby Search and you have points, maybe you want to devote your points to this figure. But I think it's worth it. And I still do, you know, even with the little bits of problems, like with the wing and the little plastic piece that popped off on the arm. You know, that's, you know, if I hadn't even told you about that, you wouldn't even noticed, you wouldn't even know. But you know, it's not anything that can't be. It's not anything that, you know, it's not a problem that, you know, wasn't able to be solved. So yeah, that's gonna do it. You know, I got nothing else to add. This is just a really good figure, and I'm really happy with this purchase. So you should if you're looking for something cool to add to your collection, this is definitely it. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I am Agent O, and I am out. Peace.